Next up, we'll look at the effect that the levy may have on manufacturing. Julie Dix has kindly come along from Silent Night, where she's a training and development manager. As part of this role, Julie is responsible for the Silent Night Apprenticeship Scheme, an award-winning scheme, which has trained over 50 apprentices in the last 5 years, I understand. And Julie's also a board member of the Northwest Apprenticeship Ambassador Network. And to help her, she's got Chelsea Parker and Tom Firth, who are both just finished their Level 4 HNC higher apprenticeships with Silent Night, and are here to explain what the actual living through it is, I guess. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you for that introduction. That means I can skip that slide, which is always good. So I'm very, very briefly going to give you an overview of the Silent Night Apprenticeship Scheme and how we're planning to use our quite substantial levy pot. But the stars of today's presentation really are these guys. So I'm going to keep my bit as brief as I can and let our apprentices talk to you about their journeys as higher apprentices and their progression through the apprenticeship scheme. So the Silent Night Apprenticeship Scheme is award-winning. Had to get that in at the beginning. We've been recognised on a regional level. We were winners at the National Apprenticeship Awards in 2015, and we were highly commended last year. We've also been recognised by our local training providers, the colleges that we're in partnership with. We recently were presented with a Giving Back Award from Nelson and Cone College, which recognised our work outside of our organisation. So we've recruited and trained 56 apprentices in the last 6 years, and we're currently recruiting for our 2017 intake. We've got a retention rate of over 80%, so if this trend continues, by the time our apprenticeship scheme hits its 10-year anniversary, over 10% of our workforce will have started their career at Silent Night through our apprenticeship scheme, which is absolutely fantastic achievement for us. Our apprenticeship scheme supports a strategic approach to workforce and succession planning. So like many other manufacturing companies, we have an ageing workforce. We have a significant number of people in senior positions with a lot of experience who will be retiring potentially within the next 5 to 10 years. So it's really important that we're training up people underneath them and bringing in apprentices at the bottom of that to make sure we've got that upward progression ready for when they do make that move into retirement. And it's not just about what happens within the company, it's really important to get things right outside as well. There's no point having a great apprenticeship scheme if you haven't got the apprenticeship programme to go alongside that and you're not getting the right candidates applying to be apprentices in the first place. So our former manufacturing manager chaired the Trailblazer steering group for the furniture industry standards. We've got the first cohort of apprentices on the bed manufacturing standards who are nearly halfway through now and are exceeding expectations. They're doing absolutely brilliantly. We also do a lot of work, engagement work with local schools and colleges. So these guys are both young apprentice ambassadors. They've worked their way up through the livery company apprenticeship scheme, which is brilliant. I'm a board member of the Northwest Apprenticeship Ambassador Network, which means I get out and about a lot in the region, promoting apprenticeships, promoting the route into apprenticeships, not just with us, but with any employer in the area. We're also members of the Pendle Business Class Hub, which is a project that's been set up by our local council, and it brings employers and schools together. So we get invited into local schools to run things like CV workshops, to do mock interviews, anything like that that supports career development. And then from September, I'll also be acting as the Careers and Enterprise Advisor for our closest high school, and that will help me, hopefully, have a positive influence at a strategic level in terms of their curriculum and making sure that our local young people are developing those employability skills throughout their time in school so that when they're ready to come to us as apprentices, they're already one step ahead. So the apprenticeship scheme, 2-year programme. All of our apprentices are paid above the national living wage. That's regardless of age. We think it's really, really important to be rewarding apprentices and recognising that they are valuable assets to the company, and we want them to stay with us. They're guaranteed a permanent position on successful completion of their apprenticeship. They gain nationally recognised qualifications or skills, and they do that through attendance at a local college. And there are opportunities for progression beyond their initial apprenticeship. So the main area is manufacturing. As I said, we've been heavily involved in the bed manufacturing standards, and our apprentices are starting to come through that. But we also offer apprentices in lots of different areas. So there's loads of scope there for training people and bringing them up through the organisation. So in terms of the apprenticeship levy, there are 3 areas that we'll be focusing on. New apprentices, progression for current apprentices, and then upskilling current employees. So to give you a rough idea, in terms of new apprentices, as I said, that's recruitment of new apprentices is part of our succession planning. So I already know several years in advance how many new apprentices I want to recruit year on year. Their salaries are budgeted. I can't increase that. And the intake this year will only account for 23% of our levy budget. So that means I've got 77% to play with. And as you can see, the majority of that is going to go on progression routes for current apprentices, which is great for me because previously I've had to make a business case for progressing an apprentice, whereas now we've got the money sat there and the finance director can't argue with me. I want to spend it. So we're looking at, we're involved with the development of the level 3 standards for bed manufacturing, the furniture industry in general, and hopefully even higher than that. And then we're also looking at areas such as business administration, leadership and management, increasing the levels in warehousing and storage, going as high as we can in IT, all sorts of different areas that our apprentices will be involved in. And then a little bit of that will go for upskilling current employees. So one of the areas I'm looking at is putting new managers through the degree level apprenticeship in leadership and management. Okay, that was really, really quick run through of that. So if anybody wants me to go into any more detail in any of that later, please do grab me. But now I'm going to hand over to our apprentices and let them tell you about their journeys as our apprentices. Away you go.
Morning. I've been with Silent Night now for just over 5 years. I started in the mattress department where I started to move around there. I started first doing mattress assembly, which was the building of the mattresses, which requires stapling and gluing all the fillings and then adding a border to it, which then got sent off to the tape edging. A tape edger puts, after assembly, they apply the tape to the border and lid to finish the mattress, stitch it together. I then went on to microquilt labelling, where you put the branded logos onto the front of the bed. And panel cutting, cutting the lids for the tufted mattresses ready to be assembled. Mattress tufting, where you stab the mattress to, where you don't need to glue it, you stab the mattress so the fillings don't move. Then went on to team leading, ensuring all the cells have enough work for the day, resolving the problems that may arise, changing borders, changing lids, etc. And Gribbets, which is a quilting machine which creates different lid patterns, stitches fillings together ready for the assemblers. I then managed to do my PPT and forklift truck operating licence.
I joined the apprenticeship scheme at Silent Night in 2011 because I was drawn in by the fact that I could earn whilst I learnt. As part of the apprenticeship scheme, at college I learnt many of the upholstery techniques, and within the job at Silent Night I did divan case sewing, inset lids, drawer upholstery, all the processes that go together to make the divan itself. So
after I'd finished my apprenticeship, I trained as a team leader, and then I was then put on to the higher apprenticeship, which was sponsored by the Young Furniture Makers. I've also gained qualifications in health and safety, and I'm currently doing my ILM level 3. I then applied for the Young Persons Industry Experience course, which is sponsored by the Young Furniture Makers again. After completing that, I was then promoted to a trainee foreman, and I'm currently moving around the company into different departments like MPI, sales, and everything else to gain a better insight into how the company functions.
On completion of my 2-year course, I was then awarded a City and Guilds Medal for Excellence, which is a big achievement, and I'll carry that with me. I then went on to be nominated for a Lancashire Business Young Uns Award. I managed to get into the final 3 for this one, and again, I'll take that with me. Silent Night and Burnley College then offered me a higher apprenticeship doing a HNC in design and make. Within Silent Night now, I've been promoted to the new product innovation team, NPI as Tom said. So I work a lot with CAD and SketchUp and work on 2D and 3D designs, and also look into improving the current products that we already have. I've trained on most jobs on the shop floor now, both mattresses and divan side. This is so that I could go around each process and learn what the limitations are when designing or improving new products. Doing the apprenticeship has helped me in many ways. I've been able to go into more depth with my learning on a daily basis of how the business is run. If I'd not been successful at getting the apprenticeship and I'd have just gone with the agency, then I wouldn't have the job security that I have now, and I wouldn't be learning the skills that I'm learning now. I'd have been on one job and I'd have probably stayed there. I've just finished my HNC and I'm waiting my results. I couldn't imagine where I'd be without my apprenticeship right now, because again, I'm still working my way up and I'm still building up my skills. Thank you.
So why would you choose an apprenticeship? Quite a lot of companies use temporary employment agencies, so the employees might only have a week's work, a couple of months' work. Being an apprenticeship gives you the job security, and then you do have the progression route after through the company, which we've managed to do, been quite lucky at doing. You're also earning whilst you're learning, and you do gain nationally recognised qualification at the end of it.
Thank you very much. That was excellent to hear both sides.